So, dear Dharma friends, we have to really appreciate ourselves this moment and always remember yourself. The moment you experience your inhalation, exhalation is the most important, beautiful moment. The wherever you are, and that place is the most beautiful place in this entire universe that you experience. So appreciate it and bring your life to the moment. Wherever you are, be there. Wherever you are, completely 100% be there. Don't look for something. Don't look for beyond the moment. So in that moment, if you complete, that completion develop a satisfaction, which we call contentment. So in a spiritual journey, that is very important. That we see in day-to-day life. As ordinary people, we go any other way. We develop the current always to develop the journey. Go forward, maximize the speed. We don't like to reduce the speed. So when you lose this contentment, the satisfaction, so what is happening? That all other anything can develop inside you, like a greed, hatred, anger, jealousy, envy. This everything. It's like dust collecting dust. So that's why little by little, when you calm down, relax yourself, and it helps to not to accumulate the dust in the first level. And then in deeply, when you go little by little, you start to recognize that how these thoughts, how the sensation arise inside us, and what is the very behavior of it, what is the very nature of it. Once you recognize that, this the understanding or that experience, it will take you to liberation. But breaking down our mind, our previous habitual patterns, or the view, self view, breaking down that self view and going to reality is the challenge. Remember that we collected in the samsara journey this mental view. That's why we always think, oh, that I think, I am. And breaking down that self view, going to the nature, the natural existence, is the transformation from samsara to nibbana. When the day comes for you to minimize and neutralize your self view, in that very moment, naturally your mind start to get connected to this nature. And with that nature, you experience with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, this everything around you without missing anything. You experience everything, and in that experience, in the middle of that, there is no gap to think. In that very moment, you are complete. So try to catch it, try to understand it yourself. What is this? When you come out of the self view, because the self view creates the thinking. The self view hold, this is me, and this is my idea, this is the way I think, this is it should be like this. So this self view is like a cell, it's like a net that covered you already. That's, look at around you, this everything created by your self view. Look around you, whatever the place that you sit, Why it is there? Why these material things around you? It came by itself? It can exist itself? No. It because of this yourself. That's why it's like a spider web. When the spider create the web and a spider in the middle of it, and it's like your self view, and the spider doesn't have power to not to react to the web. So that's mean when the spider create the web, if anywhere any fly hit, any animal come and hit the net, the spider right away start to go into that. So when we look from outside, you see the spider in the middle and the net separate. But no, from the spider view, the net and the spider is not separate. It is both the same. So the same thing, the self view and the world around us. When we look like this, it is separate. But deeply, when you close your eyes, you will see still that everything is there. How it's possible? Because it's like the web. Just close your eyes and see. You start to feel whatever around you. And you know it is there. And the deeper thing is, and sometimes you can get that sometimes if you do it really. It's like this pen, and it is here, and now I claim this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, like this. It's I hold with my intention, and I close my eyes and stay. Now it's in my mind. So in the separate, it like in the outside, people think it is, and you can separate it and it's outside. But it is exist here because it is in my self view. And the thing is this: if this going to break tomorrow, or if this going to missing tomorrow, somebody going to take it tomorrow, and maybe today my mind start to recognize that. And today I start to recognize, while I using this pen, I start to feel I need a new pen. This is not anymore that going to be with me. So like that yourself, why it is come like that way? If the pen is separate from you, it seems like when you wake up, if there is a pain, if there is a difficulty, if you like you hungry, you thirsty, you start to feel. The same like with this environment also, around you also. So that is the power of self-view. It's so strong. But the thing is this, it doesn't make any sense. We become kind of like the beggars. We are become debtors to go with this. It is called sensual pleasure, and there is no end. It's like you pouring water to ocean. There is no end. It's like you trying to painting the sky. There is no end. It's like you taking a stool, hammer, or you taking a shovel, and then you start to hit to the earth, and there is no end. Your sensual pleasure the same. Your self-centered view also that much, it is bigger than that. So breaking down this self-view is one way, one technique is remember to slow down. Don't react. In the beginning, create a gap in between your thought and your action. So like when we inhale, exhale, there is an exercise. You inhale, you keep a gap and exhale. So in the beginning you do, and then later when you inhale, exhale, without doing, you start to observe to the gap. It is a very There are some Zen masters practice this, and there are yogis practice this, but in our Theravada Buddhist tradition, we don't practice that much that kind of technique. But the thing is that the gap, when you able to recognize that gap, your mind become more sharp, clear. So especially when the inhalation happen, exhalation happen, when it happen naturally, there is a gap you see in the surface level, and then the deeper you recognize there is no gap, there is no inhalation, no exhalation, there's everything. It's like the ocean. So in the surface level you see the inhalation as a wave, and the bigger wave, smaller wave, so exhalation as a wave. But the later you start to recognize the ocean, it's like you start to recognize the web and the spider, both the connection of the, so same like, look yourself, can you recognize you and your environment, the connection, rather than separating. We separate, that help us to keep this and go with this. But if you look yourself, can you see, can you experience this, everything connected to you, this is you, and then you recognize that is how it is strong. So try to slow down, create a gap in between your action and your thoughts. In the surface level, when you create that gap, little by little, you become more sharp and clear. There are a lot of things and a lot of actions that you do in day-to-day life, you cut down half. You can bring 50% your action neutral. And then when you become more sharp, more clear, you start to recognize it, even you can cut down another half of it, that 50%, and 20% action. But look, 75%, if you can drop your actions in day-to-day life, your bodily, verbally or mentally, how peaceful you are. And when you go deeper, just listen this very carefully and try to catch what I try to mention you. And when you go deeper and you recognize the gap between the action and the thoughts, and the deeper level, even that 25% you can break it down to half. And then little by little, there is a moment come for you. Completely you become neutral with your bodily, verbally and mentally action. But still, you are with it. So have you seen, like when the Zen the Zen culture, this start with the Venerable Sariyut, or that other enlightened masters, when they come each other, and sometimes when they meet each other with the Buddha, and they don't talk too much like us. They have just looking at each other, they already complete the communication. It's called the communion, and no words, but completely understand each other, this everything. But just look in day-to-day life, when we try to explain something to others, and we try to use lot of things in day-to-day life, lot of words, again and again, we have to say it. And we try to use lot of tools to sometimes explain things. But remember, when it comes to deeper understanding and clarity yourself, You no need this any words to understand this, the real life. That observing and recognizing will lead you to that completion. So that is the path that develop with the meditation. So get into that in life. Learn to observe a little bit. Learn to settle down a little bit. Otherwise, this we are keep reacting. That reacting itself called the karma. It doesn't matter good or bad. We are in the reactive format. So then yourself remember, come out of this reactive pattern. And can you hold a little bit without reacting? That, if you look most of things, just reactions, no reasons. And that reaction start to lead you to another result. So like that, this is a chain, this is a samsara itself. That's why the samsara itself within us. So then at the same time, Nibbana also in this very moment within you. There is no, the samsara is stronger than Nibbana, Nibbana is stronger than samsara. No, they're both 50-50. Get that very clear. Only thing is that what you hold going to become with you. So then yourself, to attain to the Nibbana, it take only one moment. Look at the life, to transform, let go, to finish. It take one moment. For some people, this is enough. It take only one moment. For some people, this is done. It take one moment. When you get into the right point, it doesn't take too much time. It's just a one moment. And you keep eating, you dancing, you drinking, you keep fighting. There is a moment come. You say, I'm done. No more. While you eating. When it's become full, it take only 1 second to recognize you are full. But the process will take you to that. Even the joy, happiness, the same. Even the struggle, fight, the same. See, sometimes people keep fighting each other. And there is a day come. You recognize, I'm done. Anymore, I'm not going to fight. Look, these famous people, even the boxers, these UFC fighters, and they resign sometimes. They retire. It doesn't take too long to think to them. These very famous players, in their head, it take only 1 second. I'm done. And maybe after that, to come to the news conference and tell it takes time. But in their head, it doesn't take too long to transform for anything. It takes only 1 second. So ourselves the same. So from samsara to nibbana the same. It takes only 1 second for you to understand. But to get into that moment, you have to slowly work little by little. In that process, the very first thing, remember, the recognizing self-view is important. And to get into understand this, there is no self or there is nothing as a self-view to understand. So in the beginning, what you have to do, just closing your eyes, thinking, rejecting, no, there is no self, doesn't work. Why? Because itself, this everything created by it. So then start to create a gap between the action, thought and action. And then the recognition itself will bring the action. The hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, sensation, thought, the itself become your life without thinking. In that moment there is no self-view. The self-view always comes when you think. That thinking comparison, that the compare to past, and that is where the self-view play the role. When there is a moment come for you to act without thinking, the action and the moment, the thinking, that everything, when it come to one point, one moment, there is no self-view. So otherwise it always create. So we create many things like that way. That is what the life. So there was a very wealthy, loyal, rich man, and he one day he lost his wealth. Somebody stolen from his own guard, from his own security. Somebody stolen it. So he couldn't find that. He asked from everyone, who took this. No one, he couldn't find any. Then at that time he went to king and complained, so in my house something missing, this all my wealth, please help me to find this. So the king had the wise man, and then this king called to wise man. So long time ago, all the kings had the wise men, and they know about that they, especially they come out of the ego. When you wise mean you have no ego. So that's why the king used to use them to help on behalf of all the people. And nowadays for the king or the president, there is no wise people. That's why sometimes we experience these all difficulties. But it is happened long time ago. These wise people used to be with the king. And so this wise man came and asked, what is the case? And then the king explained, oh, this person had the wealth in his house and now it is missing. Somebody took it and cannot find. And he guessed somebody, that came and took it, but he don't wanna the question, that's his own security. So can you help to find this? So this wise man told, it's simple. I will find it. And I will catch the thief also. Then the wise man was so happy and asked, how are you going to do? And the king asked, how are you going to do? So then this wise man told, no, I have a mantra, I have this stick. And this stick has power to find the thief. So then he called all the security that used to be in that house and asked from the owner, is there anyone came to house or no newcomers or any visitors? And he told, no, during this time no, and even this is my private storeroom and this is my treasury, that very few people know how to access to that. So then this wise man called all the guards and the security and everyone, and in front of them, and gave each and every stick to their hand, little, like 1 feet long, just a stick. And then the king asked, how are you going to do with this little stick? How are you going to find it? Then this wise man told, no, just let them to take this and go home. So I already have this mantra and I already chanted it to this all the sticks. And then the thing is, whoever took the treasury, whoever stolen the money, that his stick going to become 1 inch shorter than this all other sticks. It's going to shrink. So that is the power of mantra. So then the king told, okay, then tomorrow we're going to see whose one become the shorter. And then tell them to go home and just have ordinary life. And the next day, call back all the guard and everyone have the stick that yesterday gave this wise man, and then and he took everything and measured it, and everything was the same size except one stick became 1 inch shorter. And then the he separated the person from the guard and presented to the king and told he's the one who. And everyone shocked. And the king asked, what is that mantra? And then the king asked question from that person, did you steal this thing? Then he accepted, yes, my highness, this I did that. And then how this stick became shorter? And then the wise man told, I didn't do any mantra, just I said it. And then this person went home and thought it going to become 1 inch shorter, and then that what he did, that he cut the 1 inch, and then he thought that's the stick going to be the same size. And then when the next day come and everything, that when it compare with others, that the stick itself that found shorter because that person cut it. And so the same thing with our mind. And it's like the shorter means what he told that the whoever stolen the treasury, the stick going to become 1 inch higher. So and 1 inch bigger. So that's why this person that thought that his stick going to become bigger, and what he did, he went home and cut the stick to 1 inch become lower. So it's the reflection of our mind, our bodily, verbally or mentally reaction. The same thing happening in day-to-day life as a samsara, as a looking for satisfaction. You think this is this outside world. No, it is our inside reactions. And that is how the karma create, that is where the karma come everything. But if you stop reacting, there is no way that things going to follow you. Even it doesn't matter whatever the mistake you done, whatever the behavior that went through, if you don't think out of it and start to react, it no way it going to follow your life. So then remember to break down the self-view, and you have to come out of the reactive pattern, and how you can make it little bit slower in between your action and reaction, and find the gap. And in that gap that you will see little by little that everything is related with the inside our desires. And when you don't react to that, the desire going to be little by little settle down. So otherwise, if you react by thinking yourself, by guessing yourself, then you are still belong to the samsara. So that's why when it come to clear point, you don't reacting with guessing. You start to do things according to necessary conditions, things in that very moment. That is what called right action. So try it little by little, and then you will see how it going to help for your life. So I hope this will help for your life to understand something. With this good practice, I wish upon everyone, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, May all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbhitiyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe dattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkayavahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.